Next, we have Serena Freedombear Winterburn. Now that is a name, and she's quite a lady to go with that name. Ms. Freedombear Winterburn is Cree from the Treaty 8 territory in Alberta, was a candidate for school trustee in the last local election for School District 79 on Vancouver Island. Her mission was to focus our education system on enhancing our children's practical life skills and not on indoctrinating them into far-left ideological rabbit holes. Please help me welcome Ms. Serena Freedombear Winterburn.
Thank you. So tonight I was sitting at the table and had this beautiful gentleman, I believe Jeff? Yes, he said to me, "Tell me who you are and everything about you." And I said, "You got to wait for the speech." But thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for everyone who's come here to be a part of the solution. Now, I got to be honest, this is the very first time that I stepped up and agreed to come speak somewhere or participate, and actually felt a little bit intimidated by the experience. I actually spent this afternoon crying in preparation for this. And then I picked up my big girl feather and I said, "Get out there and go grow." I don't come from a traditional background with media. I actually have no experience or education in it. What I have is a big voice, and I discovered it because of what was going on, just like each and every one of you discovered what you have to bring to this movement. I was surprised to find out I'd be speaking with media today, but then I had a flashback of actually live streaming on the legislative grounds here in Victoria, saying into the camera, "We are the media now." And it was because of everything that was going on. I first picked up my camera and started live streaming on my personal Facebook page so that my friends and family could see what was really happening because of the lack of integrity that was taking place in our media with our government and our health officials, just like each and every one of you witnessed. It was through that I was told I needed to develop a platform, so I made a page. And I kept live streaming and trying to give voice to others who were also out there. I was seeking, that's what I was doing. I wasn't building something for my own personal aspirations. I was seeking solutions for my family, for my community, and for my extended community, and for Canada. And in that, I've had the opportunity to weave my voice with many amazing individuals, many who are sitting here in this room. I've been able to give my platform over to them to give voice to the things that are being censored and the things that are not being talked about in mainstream, the things that are being labeled as conspiracy theory and being fact-checked. And I find myself in a unique position, being that I am Cree. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on that. As it was stated, I'm from Treaty 8 territory, Sucker Creek First Nation in Alberta. My mom is Cree, but my dad was Palestinian, so I'm also the daughter of an immigrant. I grew up in Canada being part of the two most hated demographics in Canada. That was the ideology that I was sold and that I subscribed to. These last 3 years, I've had to really look at many of the narratives that have been sown to us far beyond these past 3 years, and whether they actually serve us and what they're meant to serve. And I've spoken many times to the divide. I've actually been denounced from many First Nation communities across Canada for my speaking out, because I don't just call out our government. I call out our health officials, I call out our politicians, and I call out our corrupt chief and council. I call out our lack of integrity within the movement from each and every one of us. Because I am somebody who strongly believes in things like integrity, not just journalistic integrity, but I believe that we need to be more than that which we call out, and that it happens through us. And so there are times that we're going to need to hold each other in grace, and there are times that we're going to have to stop and reevaluate our own ego and what we are doing to be the ones to sow the divide. How are we bringing solutions? How are we being the ones that this is happening through us? I brought my eagle feather today because I was actually gifted this eagle feather in Port Alberni when I was speaking there by someone in the crowd. And in my culture, it's a great honor to be gifted an eagle feather because it represents speaking truth, a higher truth, not selective, but the truth. And so when I speak, I usually hold an eagle feather because I don't want it coming from my ego or my ideas. I want to be in service, and I want it about being in service to my community. And so it's the truth that serves the community. Now, since I brought this feather, I've had many of you come up and share stories with me tonight about eagle. And for me, I didn't know what I was going to speak about when I got up here, and I'm going to be honest, even though I sent a pretty little email saying what I was going to talk about. But I knew I was going to bring my eagle feather, and I was going to get up here and open my mouth and let whatever wanted to come through like I do, because that's my style. I'm not a journalist. I'm just somebody from the crowd, like each and every one of you, who got up here, realized I have a voice and have something that I have to contribute to make our world a better place, and that I'm going to do everything I can. And that includes using every tool in my toolbox. Because I am Cree, I have access to things in this movement, such as being First Nations, and then the sovereignty or the right to self-determination as in UNDRIP, which means that I have access to having platforms built that are private and protect our data, that actually I can have a whole network built, and with the servers on First Nations land, that puts it out of the jurisdiction of the overreach of government. This is something that I see as a solution. When we see C11 coming in, when we see everything that's being censored, when we will see the regulations changing for our online content, when we see and have the feds already come forward and say that they actively utilize the algorithms online to fact check us, but it was just the algorithm censoring us, then this shows us the foreshadow of what's to come. When they talk about with C11 that we will be fined, when we look at things that are coming in with also C36, then it's our responsibility to have a approach that is proactive rather than reactive. So I mean to build a network where I am bringing together, utilizing my unique privilege that I have as a First Nations woman because of my exemption from things like the Emergency Act, the Emergency Economic Measures Order and Regulations, as well as the jurisdiction of being treaty status, having to own a platform, and also having the data secured on First Nations land means that I get to help build a community where each and every one of you get to bring your voices in the case that you're deplatformed and information is censored deeper. I mean to build us a community where we can have free expression, where we can advocate, where we can share information, where we can work towards food security, towards alternative health care, towards our educational and our economic, as well as our barter systems. I mean to have a full online community, and these are the things that I am working towards because I believe that we are the builders of that future, and the time is now.